What it do, YouTube? I am back with another podcast. I had just come back from a great weekend in Tennessee with my family. Um, I'm really just about to get into this introduction, so before I do, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps me out as well as lets you stay notified as to when I post my future videos. Now, today we have an interesting topic. I'm pretty sure I've tackled some of these things in previous podcasts, but I never had a podcast about this specific topic in general. Like this was the whole theme of the video. So I wanted to go ahead and dive into this, talk about some things. A lot of these topics have come up in conversations I've been having with people recently, and I thought I might be a little fun conversation. And mind you, this isn't kind of like a battle of hardships. This isn't to kind of like throw things in anyone's face, but this is just to give a little insight to people who might be blind to the way the world works or just how things are in certain aspects. So now, this is all about the double standards between men and women. And I have three subcategories within these double standards. So, and you already know, I gotta have my journal. So these double standards are going to be broken into three categories. And the categories are dating, sex, and basically economically. So the dating double standards between men and women, the sex double standards between men and women, and the economic double standards between men and women. And some of these kind of tie into each other, but I'm gonna just go into a little spiel about them, give you a little insight on how things are viewed, if you don't already know, and just to show you kind of what things look from the other side. And when I say that, I'm mostly talking to women when I say saying how it's viewed from the men's side, because there are a lot of double standards, and some of them, I'm not gonna lie, probably only one of them is really in the benefit for men. So yeah, I'm gonna just break it down real quick. So first off, the dating double standards for men. So the first part of dating double standards is paying for the first date. Now, this is a double standard today because of the fact that things have changed with roles between men and women. And dating today is not how it used to be, obviously. When it comes to being traditional, when it comes to what the man's role is, when it comes to what the woman's role is, because of the fact that women are now in a much bigger place than they have ever been in history as far as independence financially and social independence, and also with, I guess, the mindset that women are in today. So paying for first dates, to me, I put that as a double standard because of the fact that if someone were to go out, like if a guy was to go out and say, oh yeah, I had a date with this girl, pay for everything, no one would bat an eye. It's to be expected, right? Now, my thing is, if a girl was to go out and talk to her homegirls, be like, yeah, I went on a date with this guy, I paid for it, I guarantee you probably all of her homegirls would pause her right then and there, not let her continue, be like, pay for it. I'm sorry, you did what? Like, that's unacceptable. And I agree to a certain extent. I agree because as a man who sees things traditionally, especially if it's a first date, I will not let a woman pay for it, even if she was the one who invited me and set it up. However, I don't think that it should be shunned if a woman does pay for the date. And even outside of first dates, some men will actually bash other men for allowing a woman to pay for a date, regardless if it's the first date, third, fifth, 10th, 100th date, whatever. And I see nothing wrong with a woman wanting to treat a man. And if it's a first date, I personally would not let a woman pay for the first date. Now, I will say I've been in situations where it wasn't a first date, but I've had a woman like keep me from paying for it because they were a little sneaky and managed to do it like behind my back. And it feels very, I feel very appreciative. I feel very It's such a kind gesture, and I feel nice, and I'm willing to accept that kind gesture. But some people will really bash men for not paying for a date, and I don't think that's right, especially if it's with a woman who brags or boasts about her financial stability. If the first thing that you want to prove to a man is that you can pay for your own and you have a job and you're stable and you got money, then I'm not gonna lie. If he like I don't think that's unchivalrous, or I don't think that's not manly for a man to let a woman pay for the first date, and or pay for a date in general, and especially if she's the one who invited said man to the date. Like I said, there are men who will absolutely refuse to let you pay for it. There are some men who will bash you for it, but I personally don't think that it's a bad thing, especially like I said, if the woman is so bent on proving to you that she is within her financial stability. I just think that's a double standard. It's not like the most serious one, but I really do think it's a double standard. Old school values. Now this one kind of ties into the paying for dates thing, but this one is more so on just values in general when dating, not necessarily involving money, but just how people perceive what the old school way of doing things are and how they do things today. And what I mean by that is, and yes, this might sound like I'm taking a shot at women because I somewhat am. I don't like that women will be very demanding of a man to be extremely traditional in everything that he does, how he moves, how he treats her, and women are not willing to be traditional in their own sense. And this double standard is visible to most people. People understand it, except for the women who are taking advantage of this double standard. And the reason being is because, you'll sit here and you'll have a woman that says, oh, I want a man who provides, makes all the money, buys me stuff, takes care of me, makes sure that I have nothing to worry about, protects me, and all that. But then, that those traditional set of values, and then you turn around and you have a woman that that won't cook, won't clean, won't won't cater to her man, won't do the feminine, subtle support things that you would for a man, and then they'll hit you with stuff like, I ain't your maid, I ain't your chef, I ain't your blah blah blah, and they'll hit you with those things. But it's like, you want to demand every traditional asset out of me as a man, but you don't want to give me none as a woman. And honestly, I've been there. Like, literally, I've been there. In my last relationship, I was asked to be a very traditional man in all of the sense, yet she wanted all the authority. She wanted all the say so. She wanted to have the majority of stake in everything that is done, or everything that we do within the household. But it's like, you can't tell me you want to bring in more money and pay for this and pay for that and do this and do these the chores and the labor that I should as a man, and then you don't want to let me have none of the other side of it, the say so's, basically the ability to lead a household. If you're going to give a man the responsibilities of a leader, you also have to give him the benefits and the consequences of a leader. You can't just pick and choose what you give him and what you take. And that's the thing about like that double standard with old school values, because I guarantee you, if a woman has a man and he doesn't provide and he doesn't make the bread for the household and he doesn't protect, the woman will dog on him. Will tell him that, like, yo, you're not acting like a man. You're not doing what a man should do. But then when a woman is here and she's, the aggressive one and the one who's always making demands and the one who's always telling the guy what to do, when to do it, where to do it, well, you're not giving me traditional female values. You're not, because you're trying to make me be the man in one area and then you be the man in another area where it's convenient for you. And this is very prevalent in today, and I've seen it. I've been a part of it. I've been in it. And that's to me, that's definitely not okay. That's a double standard that I think needs to really be fixed, or people need to start understanding where they are and finding the people that match up with them. Because what you're not going to do is you're not going to have a man who it knows what he wants, and it's all about, like, the type that put a foot down. And that's what they want too. They want a man that doesn't let them walk all over you. They want a man that's going to put their foot down, that's going to put you in your place. But then when it's moments that it may not be to your highest convenience, then you switch up and want to call a man toxic, or say that he's doing too much, or basically try to put him in a position to where he feels emasculated. And like I said, this happens with from women a lot. Well, they'll pick and choose, because come on now, real men, real old school traditional men. And what's crazy is, if we ask old school traditional values of a woman, what really went hand in hand with the stuff that you're asking me for, a lot of women will call those men misogynistic, or call them or call it toxic masculinity, but it's not. And it's like, don't ask for a 60s level white collar working man, and you don't want to be a 60s level wife. Because yeah, I understand that women had less say so, and they had less privileges and ability to be on their own, and I understand that is available. However, do not constantly advertise that those are the values that you want, and not willing to give those traditional values back. Don't complain about it, because women do that a lot. And I understand that sometimes in certain aspects, roles are reversing. It's a very, very tricky situation dating in 2023 and being with other people, but just talk. And then when someone is calling you out on it, or trying to tell you, like, yo, if you're gonna get all this, you got to give too. Listen to that, and don't battle. And if you do battle, you're not ready for a relationship, or you're not ready for what you think you want. Double standards in dating. Emotions. This is a big one. And as an emotional man myself, I have not only witnessed what I'm about to say, but I've seen other men go down the same path, and it's terrible what can be done through this. So when I say emotions, I mean it's the fact that I don't think women really know what they want from a man when it comes to our feelings and our emotions, because you'll have a woman say, you need to open up more. You need to communicate more. You need to talk to me about your feelings. You don't express your feelings, because a lot of us men aren't taught to do that. And technically, I wasn't even taught to do that. I had to learn how to express my own emotions on my own, And thankfully, I felt like I'm emotionally mature enough to find that balance, to where I can tell you how I'm feeling and tell you what I'm thinking without trying to make you, try to tear you down. So when a man finally does open up, or if he is emotionally mature enough to open up about his emotions, the amount of women who take that and turn it into ammunition against him is honestly ridiculous. Like, a woman will be the first one to tell you, open up, tell me what you're thinking, tell me what you're feeling, please. And then when we do, we get dogged on for it. We get called crybabies. We get called overly emotional. I said it on my previous podcast. There was a comment under the singles page that I got all those questions from. If you haven't seen it, please go look at it. The women asking men Q&A. But there was a question where a woman was like, why don't men open up emotionally? And 2 comments down, there was a woman asking, why are y'all men so emotional? It's like, yo, pick one. And what's funny is I commented under there. I was like, the one where I commented under both, but I commented under the one where she was like, why are men so emotional? And I said, because we're humans. And then she said, showing your emotions and controlling your emotions are 2 different things. And I said, yes, they are, but that's not your question. Your question wasn't, why don't men know how to control their emotions? They ask, why are men so emotional? We get emotional too, because we're human. Jay, can't open up as a man, bro. Honestly, women make us feel like that a lot. And it doesn't help when we're raised by a father who was definitely not showing emotions a lot. And a father who taught us not to do that, not to show our emotions and not to show weakness. So then when we finally find someone, a lot of men that finally do open up and show a woman his emotions, and when he gets basically dogged on for it, it becomes a bad thing. Really? KJ, leave. I'm doing something. Leave. Close the door.
Yeah.
Leave. I'm in the middle of something. KJ, close my door. My little brother, everyone. Yeah, he's a little demon child. But yes, it was my little brother. But yeah, this the ability to open up emotionally and let someone know what they're feeling inside, that's kind of, I mean, I won't say rare, but that's pretty uncommon among a lot of men, especially in my generation and older. And then, like I said, a lot of women can use that as ammunition, because I've done that. I've opened up to a woman about how I feel and let them know and leaned on them to, had a shoulder to cry on. And then next thing you know, I get told that, she doesn't like hearing that I feel a certain type of way, because now she's got to tiptoe and walk around eggshells around my feelings or whatever. And it's like, yo, you don't have to do that, because at the end of the day, you can't help how something makes you feel, but you can help how you react to it and how you respond to whatever's making you feel that way. And not once have I ever raised my voice. Not once did I ever shut down and just shut people out. I just be like, hey, just want to let you know this is how I felt. And I just want to let you know how I felt, because it didn't feel good. Cool beans. That should be the end of it, and you should take that and respect it. But then when you tell me you don't want to tell me stuff because you don't want to hurt my feelings, and I have to literally verbatim, she was like, I'm afraid to say stuff because then I have to worry about how you're gonna feel. And it's like, why did you say that? That's a problem. In a relationship, I should worry about how you feel. I should worry about how something is gonna make you feel. Now, it's not gonna make me scared to say anything. If it's a healthy relationship, I should say that. If it's a healthy relationship and we can talk about things, I'm going to worry how it makes you feel, and I'm going to say it in the best way possible. And then when I'm with you long enough, I know how to say things so that, yeah, you may feel some type of way, but I'm not coming from a nasty place. And that's just my thought process. But a lot of women, that's not their thought process. If they see a man get upset or get sad or get in their feelings one time, then it's like, oh, now I don't even want to talk to you because I got to worry about your feelings. And it's like, then I stopped telling her how I felt. And when she noticed that I wasn't doing that anymore, she was like, so why don't you do this anymore? And I was like, because you said you have to worry about how I feel. So I stopped telling you how I feel. And she got mad at that. And it was like, then what do you want? What do you want? You want me to tell you my feelings. You don't want me to tell you my feelings. It's frustrating. It's frustrating, and just know that a lot of women have turned that into ammunition. And I pray for you ladies that run into a man that's been hurt in that way and has had his feelings used against him as ammunition, because good luck getting some stuff out of him. And like I said, I'm mature enough to where I won't let that get in the way of me telling you things and giving you a little insight on how I feel. But not every man's like that. Yes, double standards when it comes to sex between men and women. Now, this is the first one I will touch upon is the only one that you'll probably see in this whole podcast video that honestly kind of benefits men. Screw it, why not? Let's do it. Hey, how you doing? Hi, I'm currently doing a podcast. I have a podcast on YouTube. It's called Perks Corner, and I'm covering a video on double standards between men and women in a lot of areas.
Babe, go look up his podcast. If you can still hear me.
Are you at a home right now?
Huh?
Are you at a home right now?
Wait, hold
It's kind of loud in there. She probably can't hear me. Are you at a home right now?
on. I'm at work.
Okay, I figured. It kind of looks like a restaurant.
Yeah, I work at a restaurant.
What restaurant do you work at?
What's your podcast so my boyfriend can look it up?
It's called my YouTube channel is called Perks Corner, and it's my podcasts are all along it. It's basically one of the major things I do on the YouTube channel. So if you just look up my YouTube channel, you'll see the podcast. What restaurant do you work at?
I work at Cheddar's.
Oh, Cheddar's. Okay. I love Cheddar's. I get the ribs every time. Oh, you're rolling silverware. I hate rolling silverware.
It's like really loud. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. I mean, it's a restaurant. So, restaurant on a Sunday. But let's see. So, what I'm going to do is, if you don't mind, I'm going to continue my podcast. You can listen if you want to. I'm going to just turn your volume down a little bit so I can, and see what you think, I guess. So yes, the first thing in the sex category between double standards I want to go into is body count. Now, body count is a funny one, because there's a lot of controversy in that topic in itself. I also touched up on this on my last podcast video. The only double standard that helps men, because of the fact that men and women are instinctually different, and they're also different when it comes to viewing in society. A lot of people know that when a man's body count is higher, he's usually praised, even by other women too. And then tends to happen where if a woman's body count is higher, they tend to be shamed for it. I don't do either. I have my own opinions on it. However, I'm going to come from the standpoint of the general population and say that there's a reason for that. So men, it's so much harder for a man to get laid than it is for a woman to get laid. And I'm going to be quoting a lot of podcasts that I've been watching, especially this podcast called Fresh and Fit, is because a woman is born with her value and a man has to earn it. That's a quote that they say a lot that I honestly completely agree with, because in order to get laid, women just have to look good. They have to look good. And crazy thing is, depending on who's looking, from whose perspective that you're looking at it from, technically even girls that don't really look good, maybe to me, they still get laid more than I do, because it's a woman. They're born with it. All you gotta do is have a butt, have boobs, a face, and a vagina, and you're set. And they don't have to be the best looking sets. You don't have to be the best looking one in the club. You don't have to be, the baddest one at the front of the line. But it's really, if you go to a club, what do women do to get laid? They don't have to do anything. They just sit there and look pretty. You'll get approached by guys who want to buy you drinks, guys who want to invite you to this way, that way. Would you make a clap for some cheesecake? I get somebody else to make a clap, and then you can give me cheesecake for helping that out. Nah, that's what y'all think. No, that's what we know. Okay, that's what we know. Yeah, women do not have to try nearly as hard as men. If we're talking about the general population, all right. So how about this? Take a guy who is a 6, who on a scale of 1 to 10 in attraction is a 6. And take a woman who is a 6 in respective. You put them both in a club, I guarantee you she will leave with 10 times the amount of numbers in her pockets than he will, if he leaves with a number. And that is because, like I said, women are born with their value. They're beautiful. They're just beautiful creatures, because this is how we're attracted. Women are attracted to what you can provide and what you can do for a woman, and what kind of future you can make for a woman. Men are attracted to beauty, youth, and fertility. That's what we're naturally attracted to. Because I guess another good way of saying this is, if Beyonce worked at McDonald's, she could still get Jay-Z. If Jay-Z worked at McDonald's, he definitely ain't getting Beyonce. Because look at what we're attracted to. Beyonce is a beautiful woman. What about the ones who are just simps? See, that ties into it, because that just goes into it. Simps aren't gonna get laid most of the time. Simps are just gonna get used. They're just gonna get money, or the women are just gonna get money, drinks, favors, whatever, out of the said simps. If we're talking about just like actually getting laid, dang, why you do Jay-Z like that? Because everybody knows Jay-Z is a hyper successful, hyper talented, but he's ugly. I'm sorry, he is. They call him camel lips for a reason. Because he's not the most attractive guy in the planet. Like, at all. And so a woman can go to the club, put on the best outfit she got, look good, and she will have men flock to her. You, even if a guy really does look good and has a couple of women approach him, most times guys won't have women flock to them. We still have, like, a really handsome guy dressed up looking good still will have to approach women. Yes, he's going to have a better chance of landing it, but he still has to do the approaching. He still has to flex, have to flirt, have to talk smooth. Because also look at the conversations that happen between men and women. Women don't need pickup lines. You never see I won't say never, but you rarely see a woman dig in her deep bag of pickup lines to try to pick out the best and smoothest pickup line she can. Guys do that on a regular basis. Like, we kind of have to do that because you have to be charismatic, you have to have confidence, and you have to have some swag to pull a woman. And no matter what kind of woman it is, you still have to have a bit of that. And women don't have to have that. You can literally talk, be shy, and curl your hair with your finger and just giggle the whole time, and he'll still want to take you home. If a guy was to sit there and just say, yeah, okay, yeah, cool, a woman gonna get turned off by that, unless he just happens to be like supermodel. Like, a man has to be like Vogue on the cover of like the hottest magazine out, supermodel type energy for them to get away with that. A woman can get away with that, and she'll never have a man tell her that she should be a model in her life, but she'll still get that energy and attention. And just to help go back to body count, because I'm kind of raving on this whole club scene, women don't have to try. Women don't have to try because they have men flock to them. Men have to try. They have to build that charisma, that confidence, get some funds up, make it look like he got money, act like he got money, or act like he can do some things for you. Especially if you go into a club setting, because that's the type of women that be going out to clubs often. The girls that want to have fun, that want to be taken care of, that want to be pampered and want to be gawked on. That's what kind of women be there. And in order to get those women, you got to be on your A game. And we have to work for that. Those women were born with those looks. So that's why it's different, because we're attracted to different things. And look at it biologically. You have maybe 1 to 2 egg cells in your stomach at a time, in your uterus. Men have millions and millions of sperm. It only takes, I think, what do they say, like maybe 300 men to populate the entire female population on Earth. It would only take 300 of us. We're biologically wired to screw as many things as possible. And women, you have so much more energy biologically and mentally to give to whoever you mate with. And that is more sacred to a woman biologically. It's also why you guys are more emotional when it comes to connections and stuff like that, and more nurturing and stuff like that. So biologically, we're also meant to sleep with more women than women sleep with men, because that's just how we're built. So on top of that, and on top of how society is already, and if you want to be honest, society is also kind of built around instinct a little bit. You women have to admit that it's different for a man to have a high body count than for a woman is. That's just what it is. What's up, Young King? They said women live longer than men. Yeah, because men have more fun, and we're also doing more dangerous things. So, I mean, that's just how that goes. So yeah, that's why body count is a double standard. That's, I guess, good for men. And the only reason why we call it good nowadays is because we're living in hookup culture. That's what today is. It's not about relationships. It's not about marriage. It's about how many people you can screw. Because I'll tell you right now, you watch some podcast videos and you'll see them. They'll be like, okay, what's your body count? Oh, it doesn't matter. Okay, then say it. And women will refuse to say it because they know that body count will affect them, or will affect their chances of, getting a man. Or, and then you'll see the women who really want to hit a low blow, and they'll try to insult the men asking the questions by saying that their body count is low. Like, I saw this video, and he was like, what's your body count? She wouldn't answer. He made a joke. He was like 73. And then she was like, you know what? That's so rude. What's your body count? Like 2? And that right there is an example, because it shows that biologically and just instinctually, there is a difference on what gives you value. He made fun of her by making her body count high. She tried to make fun of him by making his body count low. What does that tell you? It's natural. Men do stupid shit. You're right. Now, the next double standard when it comes to sexuality. Now, this one is just interesting to me. It doesn't make me feel any type of way, because I am a straight man. But I think it's funny how, if you look at women and men, and if a woman were to say that she's done things with another woman before, or if she was bisexual, she will be accepted by men so much easier than a man would be accepted by a woman if he said he did things with a man before or was bisexual. And I wonder why that is, and I think it's interesting. And I've had a couple women try to explain to me why it's different. Why that double standard is a big thing, is a big issue. And someone tried to say because men on men is super unnatural, and with how sexual relations between men happen, it's just a big invasion of the body, and it's super not natural, and once you cross that line you can't go back. But then it made me think, what about women who do butt stuff? Because that's just as unnatural. That, like, it shouldn't be happening on men or women either, if that's your case in point. It shouldn't. And the sad thing is it should actually be more acceptable for a man, given that that is where our G-spot is. That the prostate is the male G-spot, which happens to be up the chute and the other way. Now, yeah, you don't need something big or something crazy to reach it. You really don't. You probably need two knuckles of the finger at most. But like, the fact that double standard exists, I'm way open. Yeah. Yeah, we're not talking to you. I know you're different. But yeah, it's like the fact that double standard exists, and it just so happens that, if you want to be honest, the people that benefit most from those certain actions are actually men, is kind of ridiculous to me. Like I said, it doesn't bother me because it doesn't pertain to me. It's just an interesting thing that I found and that I witness, and that does generally raise questions in my head when it comes to looking at things from the female standpoint. Now, turning sex down. This is a very big double standard, and it goes against men too, because turning sex down, even though men are basically, we have higher levels of testosterone, we tend to be more horny than our female counterparts. Not saying that women can't be as horny, but generally speaking, if you're looking at like averages, yes, men are bigger horn dogs than women are, and it's almost seen as natural or expected to see a woman turn down sex every now and then, especially from someone that she's with. Like, oh, I'm just not feeling it today, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, think about how it makes you feel when you hear a man turning down sex. Think about how many eyebrows you see get raised if a woman were to say, oh yeah, I was with my husband last night. I tried to get freaky with him. He was like, nah, babe, I don't want to have sex, or I don't want to do anything. And people will sit there and hear me out right now, and they'll say, oh, that's like nothing wrong with that. And there isn't nothing wrong with it. But most people, especially most women, if they hear me say that, like if I were to say, oh yeah, I was with my girl last night, by the way, my girl's fine as hell, but like she tried to do something and I was like, nah, I just don't want to. And then they'll try to think of every excuse. Oh, you must have been tired. No, I wasn't tired. Oh, you must have been had a lot of things on your mind. No, I was just chilling. I wasn't tired, and I was chilling, and I just didn't want to do anything. People will look at me sideways. Like some people will actually look at me sideways and be like, what's wrong with you? Especially men. They'll be like, wait, you turn it down? Like, you turn down sex? You turn down a sexual favor? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, you good? But then if a woman were to turn it down because she didn't feel like doing it, she doesn't have to explain herself. They'd be like, you're right. And you don't have to give them that. And you don't have to do that. You lying. You don't know any women. No, I do know women. And I've had these conversations before, and I've seen the shock on their face. So I am actually speaking from experience with this. And like to see, like, if you see a woman turn it down because she doesn't feel like it, no one questions it. And Carlos, when I'm talking about this, I'm not saying that women are getting upset. I'm not saying chill, bro, it's jokes. Oh no, I'm chill. I'm just saying. And plus, I didn't know it's jokes. Yeah, it is what it is. But you don't see anyone questioning a woman when she says she doesn't feel like it. But the first time a man says he doesn't feel like it, he will get questions from everyone, males, females, whatever, especially from his friends. And it's not a big thing with a double standard. Like, it's not a big negative or anything, but it's just one of those interesting things. And also, actually, you know what? No, there is a negative, because I've seen this before. Prime example, me in college. I didn't lose my virginity until I was 20. When I was 19 in college, I was around a lot of female friends. I was around a lot of females, and to the outside world, I understand what it looked like. And I would tell them a lot of the things I did when I hung out with them. I technically had sleepover at other girls' dorms or whatever. I would sleep over there. I would hang out with them all the time. And I told them I was a virgin. And it started going around school. Half the school either didn't believe I was a virgin, or half the school thought I was gay, because I wasn't out here just trying to have sex with women. And I did turn sex down a couple of times. I did, because of my values and my morals and who I was as a person. Who I am as a person. But it was like, that's a prime example right there. That is a very big prime example, because if a woman was around a lot of men and she was like, no, I'm not sleeping with any of them, I'm not sleeping with any of them, no one would question her sexuality. Yeah, some men might be like, oh, you lying. Oh, you're doing stuff with them. But most of the people would be like, you know what? Okay, she's actually practicing some self-control or whatever. Bro is getting more girls than me. Bro, honestly, I'm not, bro. I'm not. I swear. I'm really not. If you're not getting those draws, you like men, boy, that easy. Nah, because that's exactly what they were thinking. Women and men are definitely, except you can plain like them. Oh, this man's just trolling at this point. But yeah, like if a woman was, a virgin and not sleeping with the guy she was hanging out with, she would get praised, and no one would bat an eye. But because I didn't sleep around with women that I was hanging around, and because I didn't do that, and because I kept my virginity as long as I did, I was either labeled a liar or I was labeled gay. One of those two. It had to be one of those two. Even some friends did not believe me. And some friends I think did believe me, but they joked like they didn't, because that's just how that double standard goes. So for like a good semester and a half at college, half the people thought I was gay, half the people thought I was lying and sleeping with everybody. So that's just that double standard. Now we're going to the last subcategory that I was talking about, the economic double standards between men and women. This one I'm a lot more passionate about, because this one is the one that can hurt men the most. It's the one that I look forward to the most. Look forward to doing these things with a woman, building a family, doing all these things. And it's also the one that carries the most risk in the future. So this is the one I'm most passionate about. Marriage. Marriage has no benefit to a man other than taxes. And it's sad to say, in America, marriage has no benefit to men other than taxes. And that's because men can lose so much through a marriage, through a divorce. I mean, it's like, if you think about it, the only moment that we really have to shine when it comes to the whole marriage thing is us proposing. Like, proposal is technically the man's moment to shine, and even then things could still go very wrong. And you'll hear this, and maybe a woman will be like, well, women have been left on the altar or whatever. But I guarantee you that if we do some research and look some numbers up, the people that are willing to tell them what happened, more men will tell you that they got denied at the proposal than more women will tell you they got stood up at the altar. I guarantee you that is like most likely fact. You know what? No, I'm banking on it. I'll bet anybody in my next 5 paychecks that is a fact. And it's like, they say that the man's time to shine during marriage is when he proposes, and the woman's time to shine is the wedding. And in a sense, that is correct. But like I said, I feel like more men get denied at the proposal than women get stood up at the altar. And then on top of that, when it comes to setting up, Chem, I'm joking. I don't know, Chem. I don't even see any of your other comments, but yeah, it's like you propose, you gotta drop some money on a ring, an engagement ring, and the wedding band. You gotta drop money on the wedding. You're most likely gonna drop money on the honeymoon, because I guarantee you on most honeymoons the husband pitches in more of the money. Now I'm not saying that women don't pitch in or they don't go half and half, but I guarantee you men pay more of the stuff. So already off rip, like we're talking within like whenever you propose to like a week to a month after the wedding, a man has already invested so much money into the marriage already. The rings, the wedding itself, the honeymoon, they're just dropping like stacks after stacks. So that's already coming out of pocket. Then when you get married, yeah, the tax breaks are wonderful. Tax breaks are wonderful. And if a marriage goes well, it's going to serve you well in the long run. However, if you get with someone who either sees you as a cash grab or ends up falling out of in love or doing whatever, cheating, things happen, blah, blah, blah. When those divorce papers hit, and 80% of divorces are initiated by women, when those divorce papers hit, alimony, child support if you have kids, and just all other expenses, court expenses, stuff like that, you will suck a man dry, and not in the fun way, through that divorce. A man will lose so much. There's so much on the table to lose for a man through marriage. And that's the thing. Like, honestly, there's so many stories of women either coming up or staying solid through a marriage, through divorcing in a marriage, when they get with men who have money, with famous men, athletes, rappers, stuff like that. And you rarely hear anything about a man doing the same thing, because it doesn't happen. That the legal system of marriages, of child support, is completely against men. And that's why marriage is so scary, bro. Like, marriage, it's scary. It's absolutely terrifying, because when you think of what can happen, and then if you bring up something like a prenup, sometimes that turns a lot of people away, like off rip. And to me, it shouldn't. And I can understand some people are like, well, if you mention a prenup, it's almost like you're trying to manifest that the marriage isn't going to work. I see where you're coming from. I disagree. Because there's nothing wrong with a failsafe. Because you can have all the mindset in the world and all the willingness to commit to something, but sometimes things happen, people change, circumstances change, and a lot of things can happen to where you're in a position to where it's best to not be in that situation anymore. And if you ain't got no prenup and you end up making a lot of money, especially if your spouse isn't contributing to said money, and you don't have that prenup, when those divorce papers hit, it's going to cost you a lot of freaking money. It's going to hurt you. And that's why I said the legal system of marriage is pinned against men. Like, and if you want to be honest, in biblical days, marriage is technically sex. Like, that's why, like, if you look at it from a biblical standpoint, your marriage isn't legit until you consummate it the night of your wedding. Like, in God's eyes. Legally, yeah, you sign papers, you go to court, you get a marriage certificate, and you're married. But you don't become one until you become one in body and soul. And like I said, those legal ramifications, if something were to happen throughout your marriage and that divorce hits, almost never do you see a woman losing from a divorce. almost always you see the man hurting, losing money, losing property, losing his kids over marriage. And that's the next one I wanted to get to is kids. Child support is man, it's not fair. The double standards when it comes to kids against men, from conception to the time that the kid turns 18, it is not fair at all. First of all, I'm a firm believer that my best friend said it like this. I am not pro-abortion, but I'm pro-woman, so I'm pro-choice. And that's the best way I can describe my values and who I am as a person. If I could, I would never have any future baby mama, no nothing. I would never want my child aborted. I would never want my seed aborted. However, I do care deeply for women. I do care deeply for women's ability to make their own choices and do stuff like that. So I am pro-choice because I'm pro-woman, not pro-abortion. Make that clear. Second off, I firmly believe that one of two things either needs to happen. I think a man should have some kind of say-so. The biological father should have some kind of say-so on what happens if abortion is in the conversation, or a man should be able to sign his rights away to a child so that he does not pay a child support. Because my thing is, once that seed is planted, it takes two to plant a seed. But once that conception happens, only one person is able to make decisions as far as that child and if it's born or not and who pays what. And it's always the mother. Always, always, always. And I understand that women have, yes, a bigger physical toll, a bigger physical responsibility when it comes to bringing up a child. But once that 9 months is done, after that, I feel like it's a 50-50 effort. 9 months of, and what's crazy is I still don't think that well, at least if you're with an actual man, if you're with a responsible man, those 9 months, you're not alone. And even if you are alone, most women also have their family. And yes, there are some out there who have to deal with it alone. But majority of the time, if you get with a man who is a real man about it, and mind you, if you end up alone, I don't want to be that guy, but that is also kind of on your decision on who you decided to sleep with and who you accidentally or maybe, accidentally got pregnant by. You have a decision of who you sleep with. And I don't want to hear any comments or any conversations about forced insemination, basically, the R word and stuff like that, because that is a very low percentage of pregnancies. Sorry, that you can say that, and yes, that happens, but that is not a part of this argument. It's the fact that you choose who you sleep with. You choose who you say yes to. You choose who you open your legs to. You could have took your time more to figure out what kind of man that was, and if they would be responsible if certain consequences were to happen. And that is on you as much as it is his, responsibility to take care of what he was also involved in. So those 9 months are, that 9 months is, yes, your physical burden to bear. But after that is 18 years of partnership, of dealing with someone else that you had this child with. And if once you're pregnant, if I have no say-so on whether you keep or abort the baby, if I have no say-so on how you treat your own body throughout the pregnancy, if I have no say-so on what you do after the baby is born, or right up to the moments that the baby is born, then I should be able to sign my rights away if I do not want the child. If I don't. I just think that's fair. I just think that is fair. And I think that decision needs to be made at the birth of the child. So you have 9 months to figure out, okay, so I don't want this baby, but she wants to keep it. Because at the end of the day, that's it, where abortion is still legal, that's how it goes. If you get pregnant and you want to abort the baby and I don't, you can still go behind my back and get the abortion. You can still get that done and no legal ramifications at all. I'll be heartbroken. I'll be sitting there in the fetal position crying because I lost my child, but nothing can be done because your body, your choice, right? But if you get pregnant and you want to keep the baby and I don't, that baby's going to be born regardless because I don't have a say-so. I can't do anything. I can't make you do anything. So I believe that when a baby is born at the signing of the birth certificate, I think that you should have a right to sign your rights as a father away so that you're exempted from child support. And not gonna lie, if that was made a thing, yeah, I think that would probably happen a lot. But it's also because a lot of women are not choosing who they're sleeping with very carefully. Because if you properly talk to someone and properly take your time to get to know someone before you start doing the nasty, you deal with the consequences like the men today have to. And it's like, oh, like we had a one night stand, a fling, it was this, condom broke or something happened, you accidentally got pregnant. He don't want nothing to do with the baby because he didn't want to wife you, he didn't want to be with you, he just thought you were sexy and decided to smash. And now he's gonna, pay the next 18 years for it. So I think you should be able to sign your rights away. And then the next big double standard is protection and safety. And the reason why I bring this up is because this is still prevalent today, right now. When the Titanic sank, do you know what JJ? What do you look for in a man? I don't know why you're asking me. When it comes to when the Titanic sank, the first thing that they did was they put the women and children's safety first. And it's the same thing with any disaster that happens, going to war, any incident where there's just something going on where safety of the people need to be a priority. Don't play GG. Where safety needs to be a priority. Men are always put in the back seat as far as how things are conducted. We're put on the back seat in the sense of when disasters happen, we're the last one to be saved, the last priority. And when wars happen, we're the first one that we get put on the front lines and have to handle business. Hey, how y'all doing? I'm good.
I know it kind of looks wonky, but give me 10 seconds.
Interesting. I wonder what I just walked into. Oh, snap. Is your camera on the ceiling?
Wait. I don't mean to startle you guys, but it's nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too. I don't know what's going on, but it looks fun.
My name is Tinto.
Tinto? Oh, okay.
I mean, that's not my full name. My full name is Tinto.
I wish you guys on my YouTube could see this. I think he's in a purple Are you in a purple bodysuit? You assume that's what you wear at a wedding.
No, a suit is what you wear at a wedding.
A suit is what you wear at a wedding.
Right.
So what are you wearing now?
No. Why would I go to a wedding look like this?
No, I'm asking you, what are you wearing now?
I'm wearing
Perp merch.
Yes, okay, I have to explain. I don't. So, my name is Tinto, right?
Uh-huh.
Intelligence is not as high as human. I've learned some of the things that you guys know now. And so, I know bad words, but I don't say bad words.
I feel like I'm looking at a variant of the Teletubbies.
So, my race is Perpian. I am Perpian.
You're a Perpian.
Perpian. Oh, okay, you a Perpian.
You,
alien.
yeah, you must be one of them aliens that the government been talking about. Someone said bro is Grimace. Now he wearing a Jason Voorhees mask.
Oh wow, the knockout version. That's the.
Dang, she said knockout version. She called you cheap, bro.
Who's Jason? When did Jason get here? Because you just wearing his mask.
Jason Voorhees mask. This is some interesting characters. You know what? What's crazy is I kind of basically finished everything that I was saying about like the double standards. So I think I'm gonna just talk with these people. Oh, by the way, sorry, I'm doing a podcast. I have a podcast, and I was doing a video, and you guys like caught me like kind of right at the end of explaining like my last little tidbit. So I might just mess with y'all for a little bit.
Thank you for taking time out. I don't know how I got in this situation.
I don't either. I just accept it.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, I don't know what's going on.
Well, we're both in that boat then. We're talking to Tinto.
I didn't mean to like disturb you guys in any way.
Okay, so he's talking to two ramen noodles now.
Just disturb, and then he's got like, how many masks you got, bro?
Says that, but I don't know why you would want them.
So is that the knockout version of it?
Nah, that's not. No, that's not it. That's It almost looks like a wrestler's mask.
Mexico.
Yep, sure is. I knew it. It's a wrestler's mask.
My luchador name is El Morado Tinto.
Okay, gotcha.
El Morado. He basically just called himself the purple Tinto.
Americano. So I'm the poquito Mexico.
I mean, that's a strong American accent, but at least you're speaking right.
Are you confused?
Yeah, I love it.
Are you confused?
Am I what?
Are you confused?
No, I'm not confused at all. I know what you're saying.
Are you sure?
Oh no, I'm positive.
We're positive. We know what you're saying.
Have you noticed that I don't have a nose, nor do I have a mouth?
I mean, you do and you don't. I noticed it, but what you mean how? Because you speak from a mouth, and then you got like this like small bulge on your face that really is a nose, but you ain't got no nostrils. So technically, you do got a nose. You ain't got no nostrils.
You know what? you have sparticle particles.
This is interesting. I need to figure out how to like put stuff like this on my. You know what? I think I do know how to do it. I know what I'm gonna do next time I podcast and get accepted to lives. I'm gonna start screen recording and stuff. Interesting.
Because what you're seeing, you really can't explain it to other people without them thinking that you're cuckoo.
Oh no, I absolutely can explain this to other people.
You can?
Remember, I got the smarticle particles, bro. I got away with words, so I'm gonna be able to do it.
Hey, how's that chat? Chat, he knows something. Who are you? You know something about
Who am I? Oh no, I'm just a lowly American citizen living in Georgia.
No. You know something about the Mexican.
Huh? What are you talking about? You're the one educating me right now, so you know all the stuff.
I don't believe it.
You don't believe me.
No.
Wait, so you're
Something that I supposedly, technically, is to a certain degree of a principle not supposed to know, but yet you know it.
so you're an extraterrestrial purple-skinned Perpian, and yet you don't believe me.
Right.
All right, that makes a lot of sense.
I have my reasons why I shouldn't believe. Just like 5 minutes ago, you didn't even know I existed.
Yes, exactly, but you show me the physical proof right here and now, so I believe you exist.
Alright, so since you believe that I exist, do you believe me when I say that I have people after me that is trying to put me in a cage and turn me into a Pokemon because I'm purple?
I mean, I would not doubt it because how many times do you run into a purple alien?
Or the fact that I'm married and my wife almost divorced me over a spoon.
Where's your ring at?
A ring.
I don't see a ring. I'm sorry. What article of clothing, jewelry, or accessories do you put on your body to prove that a Perpian is married? I don't think he knows. Now I'm in disbelief that he's married. Or did the divorce actually go through?
It didn't go through because, I have ribs.
You have what?
Ribs.
Riz? You know what Riz is? How long you been on this planet?
A year.
Okay, I mean, Riz just started popping off as a lingo, so I see that. But you still haven't answered my question. I need to know what you guys do to stand out that you are married, that you are taking.
We call each other husband and wife.
That's it?
She's Puerto Rican.
So you're a Perpian with a Puerto Rican wife.
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
Ask my chat. Ask my people. Ask my Perpians. Perpians, go over there and tell them that it's true.
Oh,
that
Lord.
Venus is a Puerto Rican and we're married.
Okay. So she's all right. Is she a Puerto Rican from Puerto Rico, or is she just is that just her ethnicity?
That's her ethnicity.
Oh, so she's just an American, but she's Puerto Rican blood. Ah, got you. And for that, I am definitely sorry.
Caliente. El Fuego.
Definitely sorry. Puerto Ricans are crazy.
I know, but I like them crazy.
Well, I mean, that would be very fitting for a purple alien who's off his rockers.
Yeah, a little bit. Tiny.
Whoever's in my chat, I don't know if you're from him or if you just joined me, but I hope you're having as much fun seeing this as I am. That's an interesting concept, though, putting your camera on the ceiling. Or it would be hilarious if actually he put it on the ground and he's walking on the ceiling. And now he's Batman.
I've gotten bullied because I don't know what a ceiling is.
You don't know what a ceiling is?
I told that to people. No, I don't.
Okay, so a ceiling is when...
Wait. I have a question. Well, I don't have a question, but I have a statement.
Yeah.
All right. So my people tried to tell me the difference between a woof and a roof.
Uh-huh.
Right? So a chihuahua is like a chihuahua, but it's a dog, and it's a dog that has a human. And what happens is they were trying to explain to me how a dog doesn't say woof, it says roof. But they're saying that a roof is what is above your head. So I don't know the difference between a woof and a roof.
Okay, so...
Because my particle particles cannot render what we're talking about.
Okay, cool. So woof is what we call an onomatopoeia. So woof is the sound that a dog makes. They don't literally, well, some have done it, but they don't literally go woof. It's basically them barking and making that noise of barking. And it's what the word that we created that makes it sound like what the dog expresses from its mouth. The roof is basically the top of the inside of a architectural structure. So if you go into a building, if you go into any house, any shed, whatever, and you look up and you see that barrier that's between you and the sky, that is the ceiling, and the roof is what is on top of that ceiling. The roof is above. So if you were to throw, say, a rock over an architectural structure and it hits the top, it's hitting the roof. And now he's asleep, so I'm basically explaining this to no one but whoever's in my chat. But you can... Is your pillowcase a hoodie? His pillowcase is quite literally a hoodie. I've come from Tinto to... And I can confirm. Okay. You came from Tinto. Hey, I come from Tinto's live, and he does have a wife like that. Okay. All right, Gigi. Yeah, you were gone for a second, but now that you're back, this is a guy. His name is Tinto the Perpian. He is a purple-skinned alien. He has a Puerto Rican wife. He doesn't know what a ceiling is or a roof is. I was explaining that to him, the difference between woof and roof. So yeah, now you're all caught up. And as confusing as it is, that's literally all the information I have for you. Jelani.
Giovanni?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Rashaya.
Giovanni and Rashaya. Okay, Giovanni and Rashaya.
Yes. What is going on here? A lot. I apologize. I know it's confusing. Yeah.
I get that a lot.
Yeah, that's Tinto the Perpian. He's an alien, purple alien, married to a Puerto Rican American woman.
A very handsome one, in fact. But I want to tell you, Jelani. I'm gonna mess up her name. I'm so sorry. I just know your name starts with an R.
Rashaya.
Rashaya?
Yes.
Okay, my apologies. I just want to let you guys know in the future, maybe be prepared to see me everywhere because I'm going to sort of kind of possibly maybe be everywhere. Like maybe in your city or on your phone screen or
I mean, technically, you're already on my phone screen.
that's just the beginning. It's a preparation because I may be on your billboards too.
Okay. I got
A
you.
lot of people find me interesting. I don't know why, but I'm just a pervy.
They find you interesting?
I'm sorry?
You said they find you interesting?
Yes.
Okay. Wait, why did you come to Earth then?
It wasn't my choice.
Oh, thank you, Baden. It's very different.
I may. Before right now.
No, I said
So, did he get... Okay, so did you get, like, exiled here? Or did someone steal you away? Or did you just, like, accidentally get here?
So, I'll give you a quick so boom. So boom. Once upon a time, there was a man with purple skin and Tinto was the name of, which is me, Hayo Tinto. Still dating Tinto. Brodius Maximus, still I had a purple 32 years, very nice to meet you. So, long time ago, there was this thing called the Granddaddy Perp. And Granddaddy Perp and Sue created Tinto Perp. I got my name from Granddaddy Perp because he just said I was special, and I reminded him of wine. So, Tinto in Portuguese is literally Spanish wine, and I have the same color as it. And he gave me off to Mama Perp and Papa Perp, and I crash landed and met them in a state called Arkansas. So I've been stuck here ever since.
Okay. Yeah, you skipped like so much. Like I feel like my question wasn't even answered. I got your background and I got your backstory. I just don't know how you got here.
I don't either. I just know I crash landed.
One of my peoples on the chat said I think he took too many perks and that's what happened.
I get that a lot too, but it's not a K, it's a P.
No, we know your name is Perp, but you took in perk.
You're hilarious. You're funny.
I'm just assessing the situation and trying to get to the bottom of this. I'm just a regular person, bro.
Understandable.
So how'd you put your camera on the ceiling? Are you hanging it on something or did you stick it to it?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I don't.
Yeah, too many Capri Suns.
Capri Suns.
We had too
We've
many
been here long enough.
Well, wherever he bought his Capri Suns, let me know. I'm trying to get some.
The interview.
I ain't never had no Capri Sun that turned me purple and got me crazy. Like, what's up?
Yeah, I want some.
You told me to. I still have my line. Thank you again.
I think he's talking to his chat. Oh no, he left. Well, I greatly appreciate you for going on that very confusing journey with me.
Oh my gosh, that was really crazy.
Wasn't it? It was. No, don't do that. Okay.
Okay, see you later.
I shall see you later.
Bye.
Bye. What's crazy is I constantly forget how to leave these things.
You want to leave? Hold on.
I don't remember how to do this. Like I forget every time I'm here. Ah, there it is. Ah! All right. Well, I'm back with my two folks that's in here. Actually, who is in here? Oh, that's what's up. Yeah. But yeah, that was fun. But yeah, I basically went through all the double standards. If you guys missed it and you want to see it, you can always go to my YouTube channel, Perks Corner on YouTube. My podcast will be posted there, I think, probably by tomorrow. I don't know. YouTube's been very weird with uploading my videos in like the last couple of videos, and it'll do this thing where it says like not saving or it gets deleted and it still uploads like 2 days later. But it's like ridiculous. But yeah, actually, you know what? Screw it. I'll probably just talk with you guys in my podcast, so you're going to get to see my little outro, which is nothing really special. Thank you guys for tuning into my podcast. I hope you found it informative. Hope you found it entertaining. I'm definitely going to learn how to get the video that I'm getting on my TikTok Live and put it on the screen so y'all can see the ridiculousness that I just witnessed. And if I ever get people accepted to my live during future podcasts. So thank you guys again. Love y'all. See you at a later date. Peace out.